I have so few monster manuals left to go over, and I'm so excited to go over them that I feel like I should go over them and just record another one. So I'm recording this in the past. Today, for me, is May 17th. So last night, May 16th, I recorded Fire Rodan and then Showa Anguirus. And I'm going to edit those videos in the coming days, I'm sure. But for some reason, I feel motivated to do another monster manual right now. It's just funny how that works. Okay, so the wheel is up to date and only has the manuals left on it that are left to go over. Correction, it was missing Mothra and Mothra Leo. And watch that end up being the one that it picked. Because every time I say something like that, it ends up being relevant for when I spin the wheel. But let's spin the wheel. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so we're not getting Mothra and Mothra Leo, so I don't have to eat crow, because I accurately predicted Fire Rodan. Okay, so we're gonna off the cuff go over Obsidius today. Alright, just before we get into the monster manual, I just want to say, I did already go over Obsidius in a previous video. I don't think I went over his monster manual in depth. I kind of just went over the more general things about Obsidius, so hopefully this video won't be too redundant. Plus, there have been some things that I've learned since that video that I could probably inject into this video's discussion. Just my general thoughts before I get to the manual though. I'm glad that they're going to be using the Neo version of Obsidius, designed by Matt Frank, the Kaiju Samurai, link in the description, as the basis for this game's version of Obsidius. Obsidius just felt kind of undercooked in Godzilla Unleashed. Both the PlayStation 2 version, obviously, and in the Wii version on top of that. So I'm really happy that they're giving this character a second chance. I feel like the game originals in Godzilla Unleashed, as well as in all Godzilla games, pretty much never get a chance to shine to the fullest extent that they could, and they usually never show up in anything ever again. But, as previous videos of mine have shown, I do have quite a bit of fascination with these monsters, and I'd like to see them get a chance to be cool. So the fact that Obsidius is going to be in Save the Earth Melee is a good thing, and I'm happy they're doing it. Alright, enough screwing around, let's get to it. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the bios that actually might be interesting to read, just for the fact that it's a game original, and it'll kind of give us an indication of where they're going with Godzilla Save the Earth Melee's quote-unquote story. After the Vortok activated the G-Organizer devices around the world. Based on previous manuals, maybe that's why there's a Vortok Council, because they needed coordination with other races to set up numerous high-tech G-Organizer devices around the globe. Also, can't shake the feeling that maybe this was somewhat inspired by the original plot for the story of Godzilla Save the Earth that got nixed. I finished reading it, but it seems like they're completely rewriting Obsidius' origin, the Grand Volcanus. I wonder how this fits into the canon of the Pipeworks trilogy, because I'm pretty sure the entire reason Obsidius was created within the confines of the Godzilla Unleashed story originally was that the crystals kinda caused it to be born in the first place, so I'm wondering how this kind of lines up or interacts with that. Because I can imagine this is kind of Obsidius 2. As is the case with many of the Godzilla monsters, there are multiple members of a species that share the same name across the various eras, so maybe this is Obsidius 2, and it kind of just bears a passing resemblance to Obsidius 1 from the Crystal Invasion. And I can imagine that once Space Godzilla was defeated at the end of Godzilla Unleashed storyline, you could just say that Obsidius depowered and lost all of its abilities and died, basically, because the crystal influence no longer allowed it to live. Just throwing that out there.
That's just a theory. A game theory.
Right, moveset. Here's the fun part, because Obsidius was in Godzilla Unleashed for the PlayStation 2, but was garbage, because he was just an Orga clone. And from what I remember, he's also built from Orga within Save the Earth Melee, but he's also going to be using some of the animations from Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii, so I'm curious as to what this moveset page is going to allow us to discern about his playstyle. He's a derivative of Orga, yeah. Yeah, in the PlayStation 2 version of Unleashed, he was one of the few newcomers. And if we're all being honest with ourselves, he probably should have just been left out of the game entirely, alongside Batra, because that game was an abomination upon this earth that should never have gotten released. Anyway, moving on. Oh right, he lacked the tap weapon goo shot that Orga had. Which is weird, because you would have expected that a lava monster, that's a really simple thing. You just recolor the ectoplasm shot to red and just make Obsidius shoot it out of like his mouth or some shit. That shows you how rushed the PlayStation 2 / PlayStation Portable iteration of Godzilla Unleashed was. And yes, it was supposed to be on the PSP, but it got moved to the PlayStation 2 because the PS2 had such a massive install base that they could have gotten a lot of sales off of it. And it was the sequel to Save the Earth, but as anyone who grew up playing these games knows, the PlayStation 2 version of Godzilla Unleashed is so awful, it barely even deserves the name Godzilla Unleashed. Oh, his throws were bugged? See, that shows you how much I actually played him in the PlayStation 2 iteration of Godzilla Unleashed, because I didn't even know that they didn't work properly. It would fall out of his hands before the throw completed. Well, I mean, even if they completed, they just like pop up a short distance in the air. NastySoft is taking artistic liberty. Good, they're enhancing aspects of him that they feel suffered with the game being rushed. Good, all of this is good. Thank you. Oh, he's able to command lava pyres from the crust? Is that like lava geysers? Because that sounds awesome. Launch people with rock spires, and he can roll himself in a ball. I don't understand that ability. It reminds me very much of the Rock Mario power-up that's in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Special volcanic dash attack called the Pyroclastic Flow. I don't know what that's gonna do, but I just want to give props to whoever named that move, because that's a really cool name for an attack. Yeah, his visual design was, well, I'll go with lackluster since that's the word you used, but I'd probably be a little bit more harsh on it. Yes, it was generic rock monster. There was nothing special about Obsidius. And yes, they based his new model off of Matt Frank, also known as the GOAT, also known as Kaiju Samurai's Godzilla Neo Obsidius redesign, which is what I have been saying for years, and I've said that in multiple videos at this point, so I won't go over it much more. He also has new audio effects that are not stock movie monster effects. I'm actually curious what he's going to sound like now as a result of that. And he has a multitude of new attacks from Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii, which is good. I don't think many of them worked well, but that's probably just because of the way Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii played. And if you can reuse the animations and kind of reintegrate them into his moveset in a kind of functional way, I'm sure they'll need some modification, but I think that's a worthwhile endeavor, and I thank the dev team for that. His moveset is now thoroughly drenched in lava and magma, with his rage attack replacing all water with damaging magma. What the hell? I really want to see what that looks like. That's kind of cool. So they're basically taking the magma flows from both versions of Godzilla Unleashed and turning that into a rage move, so that when he does his rage move, all the water becomes magma that does damage over time. That's actually amazing, and I'm glad I went over this because I didn't remember that. That's amazing. Wow, he's got really high weapon and utility scores. I mean, I knew the power was going to be high. I feel like the agility probably needs to be lower than it is, but I also don't know how that compares to the other monsters in the roster. Okay, skin time. I know some of these because I remember going over it before a little bit, but alright. I have one idea in mind. Ice Sidious, that's obvious. Earth Sidious. So this is the one I said that I almost kind of had a sort of idea about. Could this be equivalent to saying Mud Sidious? Because I feel like a mud version of Obsidius would be kind of funny. Storm Sidious. That makes sense, because I'm pretty sure volcanic eruptions can cause, like, thunderstorms and stuff in their wake. So, also, reading through those three again, I guess the revised backstory for Obsidius kind of fits those versions, because he's kind of like an elemental deity kaiju, kind of like Mothra, but for the elements. So, I guess it makes sense to have those three, given that. Volcanic Glass. That was in Godzilla Unleashed Overhaul. And, I mean, it's a fine skin. I mean, I don't really have any strong thoughts on it. Purple lava and blue lava are kind of lame. I feel like there needs to be a green lava. If you're gonna go that route, you might as well, because purple lava matches up with storm, blue lava matches up with ice, and then a green one for Earth Sidious. Because those are basically just lava Obsidius, but with the color schemes of the elemental guys. Classic Obsidius. which as far as I'm concerned, I know, look at the next one, but as far as I'm concerned, the Wii version of Obsidius is the only version of Obsidius. I imagine they're probably adding in shoulder volcanoes to the classic model just so that the moveset matches with the classic model, because it says it's based on Unleashed appearance, and it says Obsidius custom for the model. Oh gosh, they still got the stock roars. And then they have the PS2 model for Obsidius, which I don't even remember what it looks like in comparison to the Wii model. Maybe if I have to record some Godzilla Unleashed PlayStation 2 footage on an emulator for this, maybe I'll see the difference. I don't know. I also didn't realize Critical Mass Lehar is, turn all of the water into lava. But I also see Ice Sidious has Critical Mass Blizzard, Earth Sidious has Critical Mass Landslide, and Storm Sidious has Critical Mass Storm. So my question is, what do those do then? I can imagine Ice Sidious's Critical Mass Blizzard turns all the water to ice and then, inflicts ice physics upon you and probably puts like a snowing particle effect over the city. We have no idea what the landslide one could do. I mean, just spawn a bunch of boulders from the other maps is all I can really think of. Storm, I guess you could just have it so that there's periodic lightning blasts that hit the ground around you or near you. That's all I can think of. And there's still 3 ones in there that have yet to be revealed. So let me look something up on Google. I only have one off the top of my head that I can think of. If I can find any other ones, maybe I'll put them up, but let me just do some digging here. But you can't do really any of the concept arts because they basically look like the exact model that was in Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii. Okay, no, so there are no alternate skins that can be gleaned from his Wikizilla gallery. Wow. Yeah, folks, I'm just gonna say, AI art is not gonna be overtaking the world anytime soon. I'm trying to generate something... Yeah, no. Okay, so that was disappointing. So I can't really think of any skins for Obsidius that they could add on top, and that's mostly due to the fact that Obsidius is a game original kaiju for Godzilla Unleashed, and now Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. Legitimately, the only thing I can think of is they could make like a custom model for a Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash style Obsidius. That was what I was trying to make on like an AI image generator during this video that you guys couldn't see because it obviously did not produce anything of any value. Even though I was deliberately telling it, make Obsidius, the fiery rock monster from Godzilla Unleashed, in a very cartoony art style as a 3D model. Trust me guys, AI is not taking over the art space anytime soon. But that's the only skin I can think of. Aside from more just random recolor skins, maybe a skin based on geodes? I feel like there's probably a joke I could make about geodes or how only nerds are interested in them, but I can't remember any TV shows that have made jokes about it at this moment. The only other possibility for a fire Godzilla monster that even remotely comes to mind would be Kumasagami from whatever the hell the Orochi stuff is from Toho. But as someone who's never seen that movie and doesn't even really have the will to read the Wikizilla article right now, I don't even know if this would work. It probably wouldn't. But if it would, I guess then maybe Dororin would also work, and there's plenty of Godzilla Island skins slated for Godzilla Save the Earth Melee, so if you can get Kumasagami to work, then maybe you could get Dororin in there too. That's 2, and then the Double Smash one is 3, and yeah, there's 3 skin slots left, so guess that might work then. So, closing thoughts. Much like was the case with Godzilla Unleashed, when it actually released, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to feel kind of slighted by the fact that Obsidius was chosen to be retained for the game. I'm glad though, because as a fan project, they can do a lot more with this character and we can actually see Obsidius kind of fit into the wider Godzilla universe. Which I think is really the problem with Obsidius as he was in the games anyway. I mean, stuff like this.
Obsidius.
kinda made you not want to play as him, and kinda made you resent Obsidius, because why would Obsidius get in if other characters like Zilla or Monster X or Gabara or Gorosaurus didn't make it in? Because people have a totally unrealistic view of game development and how long it takes to develop characters. This was a serial problem with the Smash community, and continues to be a problem, and I mostly attribute that to young people. Because trust me, when I was young, I was also delusional, and I didn't understand just how much work a lot of this stuff requires. But I'm glad NastySoft is giving Obsidius another chance to actually be the monster that we all wanted, and the first step on that was to go with the Godzilla Neo design as kind of a basis. So, we're already miles ahead of where it was in the original Godzilla Unleashed. We're in a totally separate universe from where it was in Godzilla Unleashed on the PlayStation 2, which is, as I've said, a game that deserves to be banished to another dimension and wiped from collective memory by Marvel's Century. But yeah, I can't really say much more than that. We don't even have gameplay of him at the current moment, so... And really, I doubt we'll get gameplay of him for a long while. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think of the prospect of Obsidius reappearing in Godzilla Save the Earth Melee. Burn the like button and light it up so that I know that people are appreciating these videos. Sorry, I was just checking the time because the Godzilla Timeline video under the Writing Revisited banner is supposed to come out in an hour and a half, so I was just checking to see if it had happened while I was recording this video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next Monster Manual. We've only got a few left to go, and by a few, I mean 7. We have exactly 7 left. So if I really wanted to, I could just crank them all out one a day inside of a week, but I'm probably not going to do that. Take it easy, guys.